Well, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another late night episode of Cryptids, Myths, and Mysteries. Um, just another run to see how things go. I'm hoping that somebody will stop by and maybe want to chat. I know it's dark. I know it's it's night. I love the sounds, and you never know what you might hear out here. Hey guys, the Purple Hobbit. Nice to see you in chat, dude. Jeremy, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Robin, hey, Cryptid 559, dude. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you. Yeah, It's just. I apologize. You can't really see me. It's late at night. I'm outside in my front yard, just listening because you never know. Um, so I just got through watching Carrie's Late Night. It was a great show. Um, Donnie, I believe, has been uh, marked. I guess it's the only way I could put it. He's they know. I think anything. I think he's the type of person, and I feel like I'm the same way. That once you've been touched by the paranormal, you're more than likely to be encountering it. I could be wrong. It's just a theory, but I've had my own share of. Oh, hold on. Yeah, StreamYard allows that. StreamYard allows you to bypass that for a little bit. Um, it's a great service, man. It's a great service. But I don't know if the rest of you guys were. Robin, I saw you there. You were in chat, and we were talking about. He was talking about all his experiences, and somebody um, brought up the point that maybe he's been, you know, um, pointed out, and I use the term marked, and once, and I feel that once you have had your first real paranormal experience, one that sticks with you, one that you really can't get over, um, you're marked. You're more than likely to have some type of experience after that. It's been a long time. My first experience with the paranormal, I guess I was maybe 6. Oh yeah, they they're uh, they're more aware of where we're at than we are of where they're at. I guarantee you. You take it like I always kind of explain it like this. I mean, you're in your house and you get up and walk through your house at night from the bedroom to the kitchen to get a glass of water, right? Um, you know where everything's at. 9 times out of 10, you probably really don't have to turn on a light to just maybe get the water, right? You take the Sasquatch being, they live there in the wilderness. They live, that's their home. and you know they're way more adept and qualified to be out there than we are. So yeah, they know where we're at. I have had, I think, only one UFO encounter, and I was with my sister. We were just kids playing in the yard. Saturday, July 4th, we're going to be at a cookout at my mom's, and I thought that would be a perfect time for us to go over what had happened. So I'm going to interview her and get her perspective. Let everybody know about that. My first experience was when I was just about 3, when the paranormal. I've always been a paranormal person. I didn't even think about Bigfoot till the rocks were thrown at me. I didn't think about Bigfoot either till I was howled at. That's going on 12, 13 years ago now. And I really didn't think about it after that. I know it creeped me out, and I know that I didn't go back in the woods for a long time after that. I was camping on my own. It was my third night on a camping trip when it happened. I was going to wrap things up the next morning, and I was camping on top of a ridge, on top of a mountain, and then over the ridge behind me, I heard this roar, howl, scream. It was like nothing I've never heard in my life. And I have been in the woods at that point since I was old enough to walk. So I mean, I knew everything around there. I knew what, you know, the owls, crows, ravens, fox, coyote, wolves. Even I knew what they sounded like, and there was none of that. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. UFO encounter at 10 years old. Wow. I guess I was probably about that old. I'm about 10 or 11, I guess. I wasn't very old at all. Hey, Rick. Yeah, Bigfoot is always fascinated. Was also fascinating to me. I heard Albert Osman's story, the guy kidnapped by a Sasquatch family. Yeah, that one creeped me out. Uh, uh my my thoughts on that was, what in the world were they going to do with him? You know, um, if I remember correctly, the way he got away was he gave the alpha some tobacco, and it made him sick enough to where he was able to bug out. Yeah. But can you guys hear the night sounds around me, or is it just me? There's crickets and bullfrogs right now. The other night I went live and there was a mockingbird that was just, it just couldn't sleep, I guess, and it was just, oh, it wouldn't shut up. It was great. But this is my first live stream with actual interactions. Oh, you hear them? Cool, man. Cool. Two black triangulars. The one I remember when I was a kid, it was almost um, I wouldn't say cigar, but it was almost football shaped. But if you took a football and just stretched it a little bit, that's what I remember. The wrong one to ask. I love the night sounds, man. I love it out here. Triangles. I've seen some footage of that. Um, Tony Merkel posted some of that in uh, the confessionals. He posted. He got on YouTube and posted some video of some of that he actually saw. That was crazy. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's been crazy. There's been a couple of nights when I mean it's been more than one bird out here. Long white silver pancake, thick pancake shape hovering above a large pine tree. You know, it's good when you've got confirmation, when you've got somebody with you. There's half the time that's some of the stuff that's happened to me. I don't even like talking about. Wow, those crickets. Now see that on the opposite. When they're outside, the crickets are great. To me anyway. I like the crickets outside. And if they're outside and there's a bunch of them, oh man, I on a warm summer night, I could just go to sleep in the chair. They're like a night song to me. But you get one lone cricket in the house, drives me crazy. Wow. So if you guys have a chance to um, tune in, it's probably going to be around 3 or 4 Saturday afternoon, um, right before everybody goes to see the fireworks and whatnot. Like I said, I thought that being there together where the encounter actually took place would be good. Maybe it would freshen up some memories. There are some things that are gone now that were there before. There was a huge old oak tree out in our front yard when we were growing up. It's gone now. It got diseased, hollowed out, and died, and it's gone now. But it it was crazy. I'm gonna set your heart on fire. I can understand that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to either, man. I wouldn't have wanted to either. Shoot, no. Heck with that. You darn Skippy. You darn Skippy. Nuh-uh. Take care. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Don't have too many crickets out there, huh? Rick, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, Robin. I appreciate it. Good night. Good night, everybody. I'm just gonna hang out here for a minute or two and just see if anybody else stops by. I won't be on here long. It's 17 minutes right now. Probably run for another 10, maybe 30 minutes. Probably wrap it up. All right. You guys still see me? Oh, Rick, you're still in here. Okay, cool. I thought you were leaving. Appreciate you hanging out, man. So yours looked like a pancake, huh? Yeah, mine was flat. Did yours have lights at all, or anything coming off of it, or was it just um? What exactly do you mean? And the paranormal in general, or what? It's always the honest. Honestly, it's always couldn't tell it was about. Oh, okay. Yeah, the paranormal. It's always been part of me, I guess. It kind of well after my first encounter, uh, it spooked me. Um, and I had I I guess an overactive imagination. I guess what they would call it back then. Uh, I was terrified of the dark, um, and at one point in time, I finally figured that I needed to harness that fear and control it. I was a kid. I was tired of being scared all the time. I would have to have my mom or dad go down the hallway to turn on the light so I could actually go to the bathroom. It was bad. It was bad. And I guess one thing led to another, and I guess it was a curiosity, a search, for answers. It's the same journey I'm on now. It's funny you mentioned that how all of us have had paranormal encounters at a very young age. I find that very fascinating. And do you not feel that at some point you were marked and that you have had more and more? Have you? I'm assuming you have. I have. I've had more than one paranormal experience. Many, as a matter of fact, many. I could probably fill a book full. But yeah, it's in my teens is when the well, I can't even say that. I was I was in elementary school going to the library, and I know I checked out the same books constantly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love the cryptid stuff. Bigfoot fascinates me. The little people fascinate me. But it's just I am trying to get to the truth, and I think there's keys to that truth and things outside the cryptid world. I've and it's just a theory. I'm no expert. I'm going off of what my experiences and my gain of knowledge have directed me in. I'm going in that direction. I feel that it's all connected somehow. 66 and still have bizarre events happen. Like I said, it's ghost encounters. Yeah, man. Yeah, ghost encounters. I've had quite a few. Um, Poltergeist activity, um, aggressive paranormal activity that seemed like it was poltergeist, but I really don't believe it was. It may have started out that way, but it manifested into something different. And this happened, 2004. Um, my ex-wife and stepson had moved into a new house. I'd gotten a new job. We had to move. Um, it was it was a mess from probably the second or third week we were there in that house. Things started happening, and I'll take it back. It was in 2003 because 2004, January 22nd, 2004. I was at work and got the call that my house was on fire, and it burnt to the ground. We lost damn near everything, and that was when my marriage totally crumbled apart. It was a severe attack on the family. It changed us. Period. Now that we got an insurance settlement out of it, rebuilt the house, and I wound up moving back into the new reconstructed house on that site. And long story short, I never had any more problems with it. Um, maybe you could say that. I I think there was a point in time where I kind of forced myself to shut that sensitivity off because I was being bombarded by it. My um, mid to late teens, early 20s, I was bombarded by it. I think it runs in the family too. My mom has had, she's precognitive. She's had dreams about it. She follows a ritual because she believes, and this is, I used to call it superstition, but now that I know more about, I know more about these things, her ritual seems to stave off a lot of stuff, if that makes any sense. Oh, I totally agree with you there. I was having a conversation with an individual this morning, and we were talking about some things. And he is this person is searching, I guess, um, looking for looking for answers too. Um, I I told this individual about how my research and investigations and studies have um, pushed me down a path that questioned everything that I thought I knew. Everything's changed. It's different. Now I still believe in the God Almighty. I s- there's that bird again. Hey bird. I still believe in the God Almighty. There's been too much for me to not believe, but I also believe there's other things out there that, mm, how can I put it, that aren't right. If I'm looking for answers and I'm asking the good Lord about it, I'm asking for discernment beforehand and wisdom. I believe man has polluted a lot. Totally no gods. Yes, indeed. I've had too many things that I would count as miracles. I've seen it happen. It just rock. I've I'm sitting here talking to you because of miracles. I should be dead in the ground, 6 feet under, pushing up daisies. Dream interpretation. That's something I need. Um, Rick, you said your children are sensitive. I believe mine is too. Um, you said your kids are sensitive towards supernatural stuff. I believe most kids are. There's a veil that of um, BS that gets pulled over their eyes. Older they get, they're being told that what they believe is not real. All their experiences are not real. It's their imagination. Blah blah blah. Wow, wow. That's a testimony right there. That is one heck of a testimony. Indeed. We see miracles every day and too blind to acknowledge them. I say that often. I say that often. People are just too blind to it, too self absorbed, and they do not take in um, what's going on around them. Indeed, yes. We are born with it before the indoctrination occurs. And I believe that comes back to the hardening of the pineal gland, our third eye, the one that makes us sensitive to this type of thing. Yes. Now I'm going to tell you something that sent chills all over me. My son came into our bedroom and got in bed with mommy and daddy the other night. He was bawling his eyes. He was scared. And we asked him the next morning what was going on. And he told us he has had uh, encounter with the Slender Man. This little boy is about to turn 7 years old in August. Where in the and I don't bring this stuff up around him. I don't want him to have any type of knowledge about it. What in the world? It blew my mind. I said, okay, we're getting ready to bless and cleanse this house. Too much crap going on. I personally have to get back to my exercises, try to decalcify my pineal gland, and get back into it. I was having a little bit more luck with the big fellas, the hairy people, the forest people. Um, I try not to talk about this too much around certain people. They just kind of shy away from it and they don't understand it. Well, in your backyard. I have yet to tell my wife that I found evidence that they've been here at my house in a residential area, tucked away back in the woods. I mean, it's a nice, quiet place, but I found evidence of it, and she would lose her mind. Bless her heart. Yeah, Slender Man. I believe that the Slender Man, it started out as a creepypasta story, just like the Hat Man or the Flannel Man. These type of things. The Rake, if you've heard of that. I believe that they are tulpas. They are manifestations. Our people's attention and belief in it has actually given it life. This is just way out there. This is late night talk, and like I said, a lot of other people would uh, they'd shy away from it. You live in synchronicity. I've had a lot of that in my time. Luck and coincidence, huh? Yeah, I guess. I use the words, but I don't fully. Yeah. Smoke Man. I had encounters with something like that, and I was in a dream state. I was going through a hard time. I was just a kid, like I said, mid-teens, um, about to have a nervous breakdown. But it was like a Hat Man, a tall, slender man. Facial features are like no nose, black eyes, thin, very, very thin lips, a big mouth, and just jagged teeth. Skin was chalky white. Um, I, at one point, flight or flight had taken in my dream, and I punched this thing, and it was like um, almost like punching dough. Yeah, I'm right there with you. They're all over. That's it's crazy, man. I'm really opening up now. I hope you guys hold on. Hold on. Here we go. I'm on the crazy train now. So we're talking about all this. And I agree. I think demons take the form of our nightmares to frighten us from God. That's very well possible because I was going through um, a spiritual battle. It wasn't long after I knelt down at the altar and gotten saved. And I give my life to the Lord that this started happening. Indeed, I totally agree. Perception is everything. If you have, and we are powerful. We've been given that. We've been given that. We've been given that power. Jump on board. You jumping on board the crazy train? Come on. There's plenty of room. Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be here. Uh, and that's exactly what happened to me. It had the opposite effect on me. Drove me to find God. I asked questions, and I am in my heart of hearts. I believe He wanted me to ask these questions to get to the heart of where He is and where He is in my life. Um, I'm not a I'm not a churchgoer. Uh, I have my hangups with certain organized religions. I've seen so much shady stuff happen in the church. But when I'm down on my knees and that's just me and the Heavenly Father, I know He's there. I have no problem with that. I don't deny all the bad stuff that's ever happened to me in my life. I've never once pointed my finger and said, "Shame on you. Why did you do this to me?" I've said that, and I pray that He keeps giving me the strength to stand up and hold true to my convictions. It's kept me, He's kept me under His wing. You know, the saying goes, the Lord watches after children and fools. Well, man, I've been both. And it's hard for me to sit back and say that I'm not still, you know. You don't have to drive. Yeah, I think there's an angel putting in some work on my end. Pain is the teacher. Yes, indeed. Um, Younger years studying martial arts. Uh, um, a guy I trained with, he was way further along than I was in the study. He took me under his wing, and then he was showing me. He helped me advance really quickly, and that was his thing. He said, "Pain will teach you. Pain will teach you," and that's a philosophy that stuck with me. And I totally agree. Pain is a teacher. My church is nature. Amen, Rick. Amen. It's it. Uh huh. Yep. I mean, when you sit and think about it, I mean, the Native Americans had it right. The the Great Spirit. They believed there was one Great Spirit. Well, most of them did, and it's all around us, everything around us, the mother nature. It's how could you not be one with the Lord when you're out in nature? Storms bring rainbows. Indeed, they do. Wise words. Indeed, they do. Yep. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now. Feeling pretty good. Some of this show is going to be about a little bit of kind of mix it up. It's all energy. Yes, indeed. It's all energy. Um, Ron Moorhead talked about in his book, Quantum Bigfoot. He's talking about, you know, quantum physics and resonating energy. Everything it resonates at a frequency. Um, you, me, we're all at a different frequency, and they're talking about different um, dimensions parallel to us. There is a multiverse, right? Um, I don't think he's so far from that. I think that's where heaven is. I mean, we have a very creative God. You look around and see what we've got around us, how beautiful it is. We're not the only ones out here. We can't be. That really does put a limit on his creativity, don't you think? I just love it. I do too. You look at the pyramids. The pyramids were not meant to be um, tombs. They were resonators. They were points of energy collection. I think that's just me. Yeah, when you have them moments, man, it's something you take in and it just touches your soul. It just touches your soul. You just and you that feeling of serenity and peace. Mm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's rather arrogant to think we're it, and I've preached that to a lot of people. But man's hubris is his own downfall. That's the reason why things are in the state of disarray they are today. Now, let me ask you guys something. With all this unrest going on in the world, I don't. I don't want to go off in one rabbit hole about CERN, but do you think that it is possible that something else sparked this, got the ball rolling, and has awakened something else? Like that spark needed to get the unrest rolling to awaken something else. I, a friend of mine posted this to me, this question, and it's been on my mind all night. That's my wife. She's her idea of camping is either being in an RV with AC and Wi-Fi, or being in a cabin out in the woods with AC and Wi-Fi. Indeed, you know, Jesus said his return he would be like a thief in the night. No one would know when, but he gave certain subtle clues and revelations to look for this and look for that. And I mean, there's been times in the past where it could be. You're right, Rick. You very well could be right. Yeah, this motivated me to get back out in the woods, man. You're right. You, yeah, you're right. It's interpreted that it was a whale, but who knows? What was it? We indeed are. I agree with that, and I agree with Rick. God's pulling back the veil. That's why there's so many more sightings of these cryptids. That's why there's so many signs of the paranormal. That's why there's so many more sightings of UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomena. That's just me. That's just me. I've thought about that myself, and you you look at the way things are going. Um, the fate of the world hinges on what happens to this country. As crazy and arrogant as it sounds, the United States have become such a superpower, and all this stuff is happening. It's cascading all over the world. I think it meant actual giants too, man. Um, Duke Sullivan, and I love the guy to death. I know some people um, scoff at him because some of the guests he's had on, but I think he gives everybody a platform, and I respect the man for it. And he's very knowledgeable about giants. Um, I believe they're still around. I totally do believe they're still around. Mountain giants, hill giants. Yeah, I totally believe they're still around. Yep, I agree with that. Hey, I don't mean to get political, and I've had absolutely enough of politics. Uh, about a year ago, I got away from Facebook because politics was just ruining me. It was driving me bat crap crazy, and so here I am back on Facebook trying to get things rolling with this channel, and mm, I'm back in it again. It just makes me so mad, man. You know what made Reagan so bright was the fact that he surrounded himself with people that were smarter than him. Yes, indeed, it is. Politics is a distraction. It's a big distraction. And love him or hate him, I mean, since Trump took office, look at how much stuff has come to light. I'm not saying one thing or the other, good or bad, about the dude. I'm just saying the truth is self-evident. Look at how much stuff has come to light since he took office. I think it's another key. Him being placed in power is another key to enact this change. Just just saying. Indeed, he did. And people are saying and giving him crap just because he gave old boy a ride on in his plane, that he had anything to do with that mess. I can't say that he did. That there was, I forget who I was talking to or what I was watching, but it was being brought up about Hollywood and how um, how the cult that is Hollywood sacrifices children. I mean, people, the public, hold these so-called celebrities in too high regard. They're just people, but that gives them power, so much power. And you know what they say, power corrupts, and absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely. On Tesla, the one underrated super genius ever, Nikola Tesla. Even Albert Einstein, the one man who is reputed to be the brightest genius ever, said he was smarter than him. Nikola Tesla was smarter than Einstein. So I believe Tony Merkel did he interviewed a former Satanist, satanic high priest, and he talked about all that. I forget which episode it is. It's one of the earlier episodes that he did. Yeah, yeah. I have no qualms about calling Einstein a brilliant man, because he was. I just and what you're saying right there at Tesla was, or Einstein was a plant after Tesla's murder, and I believe he was murdered, and I believe everything that he had, all his research, was confiscated by the government. And we're getting, hey, we're on that crazy train. Might as well go all the way, huh? Well, I believe that he was, just like you do, he was murdered. And I do believe that if we had, he predicted in 1906 a way for us to have global energy and cell phones, a way to communicate. And his idea of the communication is better than what we have today. 0 point energy. Yep. Oh my God. Really? Look at this. Oh, I love this. This is a round table. This is what I've been wanting to do with this channel, guys. Just, ah, I love it. We're going on an hour almost. This is great. Yes, I have, but it's been many years ago, and I need to go back and see it. Yep, and going back to the energy, all free, all free. And when I was talking about the pyramids in Egypt, I believe they were one of the points of there's like a triad of pinpoint energy around the world. Um, Egypt, South America, and believe it's somewhere in northeastern Europe. Yeah, and if you still feel that way, I wouldn't. You're, but it's, I mean, you're an adult. You can do what you want to do. Yeah, holding what little I know in is difficult. I'm busting at the seams all the time to try and talk to somebody about this stuff. I think I saw the documentary. I believe it was on Netflix at one point in time. I don't know if it still is or not, and I never got a chance to see it. Yeah, shoot, yeah, this is awesome. This is great. Okay, I'll look it up on YouTube. Actually, no, I have not, and that's a documentary I've been meaning to watch. It's pretty, under way of understanding, it's pretty damning. How those people are still up walking around scot free is beyond me. I mean, and then again, no. Frederick, Maryland, been there a few times. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Scary stuff. Yes, indeed. Good night. Yeah, big time. Big time. The Clinton Blood Trail. And people talk about Benghazi. I said, that's the tip of the iceberg for what these people did. Exactly right. The most successful serial killers of all time. What am I doing in Maryland? Well, it just so happens my wife is from Maryland. Um, uh, Frederick and Sykesville. Right now, her mom lives in Sykesville. And when I told her about the Sykesville monster, she about lost her lost her stuff. Don't be telling me that stuff. Don't be telling me that stuff. Fredneck, yeah, yeah. I was rolled through there in cornfields and hay, and a great day. But then you roll through there. Uh, I'm not familiar with that place, but I guarantee you my wife is. The Sykesville monster. Um, it was a Sasquatch up there in Sykesville. Yeah, my mother-in-law lives up there right now. She's in Sykesville. Get a good story of it. It's West did a West did a show about it on Sasquatch Chronicles. Yeah, it's one of his earlier shows. I think I'm pretty sure Will Jevning was still co-hosting at the time. But yeah, I've been up there and going to her place. Once we got off of 81 and started hitting the back roads, getting around to where she lives. Uh, you're passing through the woods, and I'm looking through, and I'm seeing tree breaks and bends from the road, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I look at my wife. I said, "Do you see that?" She said, "Shut up. I don't want to hear it." She said, This is your stuff. I don't want to know." And now, I told, like I said, I told her about it. The whole mental hospital. I've heard about that. Yeah, Wes. He was after Carrie mentioned him tonight, and he gave abundant kudos to him for what he's doing, and I know that when Wes started the show, he had no idea what kind of impact he would have, because the simple fact that nobody's doing what he nobody was doing what he does. Mount Airy. Hold on, guys. I got a kitty that's speaking to me. Come on, little girl. Come on out there. You want out? Come on, buddy. Sorry. Oh my gosh. We're hitting on an hour and 4 minutes. This has been awesome. I'm telling you, it's just I don't get a chance to talk this much to somebody about this. It's great. Oh, okay, okay. Mount Airy's okay. I got you. I see Mount Airy and I automatically think the Carolinas. This has this has been great. This has been great. I love it. Get a chance to get some of this stuff off my chest. Do I think Sasquatch or more telepathy thing or empath thing? Honestly, man, I wouldn't be scared to say both. I wouldn't be scared to say both. It's just, I this is just me. Like I said before, all this is theory based on what I've learned, the rabbit holes I went down, and the cases I'm studying right here of my own. Now, this group, tribe, whatever you want to call them, that I've been involved with, um, I call them a people. And like people, I believe they're all different. I believe they have different abilities, if they have them at all. Um, I'm not. I'm not one to first jump into the paranormal when I start describing the forest people to other people who want to know. But I personally have had experience with their telepathy. And this is the first time I've come public with it. So everybody will know now. I've had an image projected into my head. I've had a feeling projected into me. It was the weirdest thing. I tried to explain it to my wife when my first uh, overnight camp out was crushed early by these guys. I will tell you this much right now. I'm one of the fortunate people, I guess, who have not yet seen one physically. But I know they're there. I've heard them. Of what exactly? An angry whippoorwill, if you would believe that. It's the craziest thing. I've never heard so many whippoorwill in one spot in in my life, and they were extremely loud, deafeningly loud. And about the north of me, from where I was at camped up the creek, probably about, I don't know, maybe 800 yards, maybe. I heard a wah. That's as close as I can come to imitating that yell. The At that point the whippoorwill started. I was surrounded by them, and there was an image in my head that while I was there, when I go out in the woods anymore, it's better to have it and not need it, and need it not have it. I always have a firearm on my side, always. And this time I also had my rifle. Now I carry a 45-70 government, and if you don't, if you're not familiar with that round, it is a beefy round. That's a 405 grain bullet traveling at 1,800 feet per second. That is meant to shatter bone. I could hunt Cape buffalo with this thing. And I'm here to tell you that was within arm's reach of me, and I felt absolutely helpless. I felt absolutely helpless. I might as well have been carrying a brittle stick. That the if you look up if you look up a whippoorwill online, they're a wild looking freaking bird anyway. But it was over top of me, and I could feel it. It was like it sounded like it was a 500-pound bird, man. And I got that feeling, and I it just told me, get out, leave now, get out, leave now. And I'm telling you, I didn't. So okay, all right, okay, I got you, I got you. I'm gone. I left everything that night. I left my tent. I left everything. I grabbed my rifle. I grabbed my lantern, and I left. I didn't come back till the next morning to get my stuff. My thoughts on Dog Man, real or misidentified? I think it's a little both. It's I hate to be that guy that sounds like he's riding the fence, but there's too many stories of uh, where on the misidentification side, we're talking maybe a Gugwee because they're reported to have a snout, but they don't have a tail. The Gugwee does. They do not have a tail, and they stand upright like a human primate. But when we're talking Dog Man, the real identification with the haunches, the Dark Waters called him a crypto terrorist, and I believe that. For a brief moment, I lost control of myself. All I could see was that crazy freaking bird, and all I could hear was it wasn't really. I can't explain it other than it was a feeling that formed itself into it interpreted itself in my mind into words as "get out." It wasn't an actual voice that said "get out." It was something projected into my mind that my mind translated into "get out." No, I hauled I hauled ass. I did. I grabbed my stuff and got out. I'll be honest with you. That night, I am very well surprised that I did not do more than that. I was able to maintain control of my faculties, but mm, whew, it still bothers me, and I'm not camping alone again. I'm not going to do it. So, so was this while you were awake? Was this while you were awake? You barely blink. I had something like that happen to me when I was younger. Like when I was in my mid teens, going through that bad phase that I was telling you about. Frozen. Yeah. Now that night was rough, man. Oh yeah. So you were wide awake when that happened. That's crazy, man. Crazy. I have not had something like that happen to me yet. Oh, I don't doubt that. You know the whippoorwill spirit is one of misfortune. Yeah, don't doubt that. It's so lonesome. I mean, Hank Senior, when he wrote that song, he knew what he was talking about. It's probably one of the most lonesome, heart wrenching songs out there. Hey, Rick, I appreciate you coming by, man. This has been a pleasure. I thank you so much for coming by. Man, hopefully we can do this again. It has been fun. I've enjoyed the crap out of it. You have a good night, man. You're paralyzed on 3 separate occasions, man. That's rough. And then the same way. Oh, come on. Come on. Sorry. Again. Oh, wow. 10, 20, and 30. Oy. Oh, my Lord. All right, that's jacked up. Wow. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've never had anything that like that happen to me, and I'm thanking the Lord above that I ain't had nothing like that happen to me. I've had enough. But going back to what we were talking about earlier, forces being at work. It's just every time I turn on, yeah, I bet it has. Well, it can only lead you one of two ways: destruction or that path of knowledge. If something like that happens to you, it's oh man, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that at all. The dark rituals. Sometimes I'm a little slow on the uptake. So what you're saying is you have been part of these dark rituals unknowingly, that you were a victim of this. Is that what I'm interpreting, or am I way off base? If I am, I apologize. Yeah, I am familiar with it. Ah, okay, okay. All right, I'm picking up what you're laying down now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you two, cut it out. Play nice. Cut it out. With the entity. Oh, that's another can of worms, man. When these things manifest and take advantage of you in that way. Timmy! Well, hey, how are you? I'm sitting here riding the crazy train, talking about the fate of the known universe. Okay, that's awful. And I'm so sorry. That is rough. Hmm. I tell you what, having a kid of my own, I thought I knew at one point of what I was capable of and how, spiritually, physically, emotionally, but that tears at my heartstrings quite a bit there because I can't imagine life without my kid. I can't imagine life without him. That little boy's my world. And in this instance, I am the mama bear. Three different forms. And yeah, Deb, we've got a night bird out here, mockingbird that just popped up probably about half an hour ago or so. And it's just been running its mouth like I have. Huh. Indeed, it does change your entire perception. It's kind of like, yeah, the crickets have shut up. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the crickets have pretty much shut up. My cats are high maintenance sometimes. These buggers. Come on. Athena, come on. You coming or not? All right, then. Fine. No, y'all cut it out. Y'all behave. Yeah, paradigm. I can relate. I can relate. Now we got to talking about miracles earlier. There was a time when I saw a man grab a downed power line with his bare hand and whip it out of his way like it was a garden hose. Um, I know what should have happened when he grabbed it. He was not grounded. That power line was arcing a bright, brilliant blue light. If you've ever seen, if you ever seen it pop and arc, the line was actually jumping. He reached down, this guy, and with his bare hand, grabbed that and whipped it like you would a garden hose. And it to this day, that's been close to 20 years ago. It's as fresh in my mind today as if it happened yesterday. I will never forget that. It was one of the craziest things ever. Oh, you are both Texans, huh? Howdy, howdy. Look at that. It's awesome. See, it just keeps going. It keeps going. It wants to be on YouTube too. It's okay. I'm probably going to wake up the whole neighborhood. I should kind of tone it down. uh, yeah. Oh, this is great. Guys, this is going on an hour and a half. Holy crap. An hour and 26 minutes. Yeah, I am. You got to go way out in the woods to get here, though. I love it out here. It's a nice little neighborhood. We keep to ourselves, but we watch out after each other at the same time. We take care of our own business, and we help each other out if we need it. It's great. We got a little post office at the top of the hill. It's about the size of a shoebox, but it works. Open till noon. Opens up at 7 o'clock and closes at noon. Down the road from me is a fire and rescue. It's not bad. Amen. Thinking. You missed it, Debbie. We were talking about the Lord earlier. He's the center of everything. Wow. I'm not a holistic healer. I'm just stubborn as hell. Tried to self-medicate. My wife she'll come to me with that sarcastic tone of hers. Okay, what's the diagnosis now, Dr. Lee? I was like, oh, shut up. What kills her, those I'm usually right. It gets under her skin something fierce. Oh, excuse me, guys. Oh, my goodness. The queen of sarcasm, ninja of edgy wit. You go. You're absolutely right, Deb. Medical doctors know nothing. I've said back in. I've had recently one doctor that I could say is worth a damn, and he was a straight shooter. Um, I'll take that back. I've had two, and one of them I met briefly. He was a cardiologist, and he. Let him lie. Yeah. LPN. I was in the medical profession for a little while. I was a CNA though. I never got up to a nurse status. I worked in a nursing home. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of doctors either. But like I said, I've met two that's worth a damn. In January, I think it was, I was in the ER. My blood pressure was through the roof, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. And a doctor that was in charge of that shift that night, I could have probably been his dad. And this kid, man, he had about as many answers as I did. Yep, time to take a bath. Yep. Now, this was the fun part. I got broke in quick because I worked at a nursing home. Yes, indeedy. Changing adult diapers, man. Um, and seeing what some of these poor people go through when they, when dementia or Alzheimer's takes hold and whatever other debilitating disease. Oh, Lord have mercy. It was rough. I wasn't in it long. I reckon I was just a little too tender-hearted for that because I had a couple of patients there that I thought the world of. When they passed away, it tore me up. I couldn't stand it. I had to get out. It takes a special person to do that. It's like being an actual good school teacher. I've been fortunate enough that my son has had some excellent teachers that spend time with their students that help them, not spoon feed them a lot of BS and push them on out the door. No, his teachers haven't been like that. I've been real fortunate about that. Um, yeah, yeah, you're right. These poor folks are sitting there and they feel like they've been abandoned by their family because they never come and see them. The most family they've got is the nurses and the CNAs that come by to see them every day. It was awful, man. It was awful. And then the hospital, it was more or less a hospital. Um, it was run that way. And different sides of the building were set up for different wards. I remember what they used to call 2 East was the what they referred to as the psych ward, and that is where I found out about the function of the full moon, and that it was no bullshit. I remember coming on floor that that afternoon because my shift started at like 3. Yeah, my shift started at 3 because I worked a 3 to 11 shift, and went down and got all my stuff, and I was new. It was my first time doing all this stuff, and they're like, "It's a full moon tonight, um, so just be prepared." I'm like, "What in the world are you talking about? Come on now, it's just." Uh, but I found out people howling at the moon, man. It was the craziest stuff, and it was just weird. It affected everybody in that hospital, even some of the sane ones. That it, the patients there that were in their right mind and could do everything for themselves. They were just there because they're unfortunate circumstances, but it seemed to affect them in some way. Hospice is rough. Hospice is really rough. My ex-wife did a home health care thing where She was a home health care nurse. She had a circuit of people that she would visit on the regular, and a couple of them were hospice, and that she would assist um, with some of them sometimes. It was rough. Yes, indeed. They talk about it in law enforcement too, because I was in law enforcement for 12 years. A full moon. Yeah. It's amazing what the phases of the moon will do. When I got to talking about how I got spoke to in a certain way, what the telepathy, the what most people refer to as mind speak, it's telepathy in my book. Um, when that when that was put into my mind, that was on the night of a new moon. That was on the night of a new moon, and it was dark. Hospice brought you the morphine, man. That's rough. At least being there with them and making sure they're getting the care they're supposed to have. That's another thing too. Mm, I've seen people get mistreated in there. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. You quit and bought a bar and grill. I do not blame you one bit. Okay. Oh, well, guys, I think it's about time I wrap things up. It's going on an hour and a half. This has been great. We've kept this we've kept this going for a while. I really appreciate everybody coming by, stopping in and taking, and contributed to the roundtable conversation. This has been great. Deb, you still in here? You sitting back listening? Yeah, right. It's true. Oh, it's rough. All right, everybody. I'm gonna wrap things up. Like I said, you guys have a great night. Jesus bless you too, Deb. Thank you for coming by. Um, and until next time, guys. Hey, be safe out there and love you, mean it.